Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica.
So today we are going to be giving you guys some recommendations for some novellas so that you can meet those Goodreads goals, because it's the end of the year and we all want to meet those Goodreads goals or get ahead of the Goodreads goals. So let's talk about some novellas.
Or maybe you just like enjoy reading novellas because this is a busy time of the year, so a shorter book might be your jam.
Exactly, yes. So we've only done this video one other time, and it was like when we first started the channel. So we were surprised we haven't done this again since. So we got some books for you.
And no need to go rewatch that video.
No, that's okay.
It will not be linked below.
Yeah, exactly. If you really want to go find it, you can, but I'm not gonna recommend that. So, but what do you want to tell them before we start with that?
Well, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the really good new videos that we put out a lot. And stay tuned because we are getting really close to 2,000, which will be our next big giveaway.
Yeah. Okay. So novellas, I guess we'll just dive right into that. So, but do you want to define novellas for them? For us, what is our definition?
Okay, so we researched novellas and it was very interesting. A lot of different places have different ideas on what it means, but kind of the general consensus is a novella is less than 200 pages. So for the purpose of this video and for the purpose of Bestie Book Reviews, we will just refer to a book less than 200 pages as a novella.
Yeah.
Some have like really specific page numbers, like 139 or less. And so we just decided under 200, we're going to call a novella. And even if it's only 60 pages, we're still calling it a novella because there's like short stories and like all this other stuff. So
yeah,
that's what we're doing.
Novella. Here. Yes, exactly. So, okay, so let's get this started. What? Oh, you kick it?
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Okay, so the first book that I have for the novellas is Caught by M.L. Marion. I started reading this series earlier this year. I had to look and see which book I was in that would tell me. And I really enjoyed it. So this is the first book is 0.5 in her Claimed and Tamed series. This is a series based on the Sabine women, or like Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I know I've talked about it a few times. All of the books are fairly short for the most part. So this one is about Karina and Mitchell. So Mitchell's family and his family, they have this tradition where the men basically go on a hunt for their wives. Like they go out for a few days, they interact with people, and if there is a spark between them, or if sometimes they just see a woman and that is like they know that is the one, and they basically just kidnap them and bring them back to their house. So, and then the family has a connection with a judge in town, and he'll come and marry them. And then they get a year, like they run the family's business. The family gives them a year to take off, and they get to know their wife, their captive wife. So that is what this story is about. Mitchell has a young son who decides his wife passed away, or his mom passed away. And it's time for Mitchell to go get himself a wife and get himself a mama for his little boy. And so that is where we get their story. Loved it so much. It's just very, you can tell she doesn't want to be there. But this little boy wanted a mama so bad. So loved it. It's great. The whole series is great. Like I keep looking at Named isn't even that long. This was my favorite one in the series, and it's 250-ish, 260. So they're not very long.
More than a novella, though.
More than a novella. But this first one is a novella. So, okay.
All right. So my first one is by Whitney G. And if you're looking for novellas, Whitney G is like the queen of, I feel like, plot-driven novellas. Sometimes the plot is really missing in novellas. I feel like her plot is always solid there. She does write some longer books though, so just pay attention to that if you're looking strictly for novella. So my first book by her is 30 Day Boyfriend. Not my first book by her. My first Book recommendation. What is happening here? I don't know. So this is boss, employee, and definitely enemies to lovers vibes. So we have Emily who works for Mr. Wolf. Mr. Wolf is just your typical hard ass boss who in books, in romance books, who is the typical hard ass boss that, you know, you're always not pleasing, but apparently you do, if that makes sense. But anyways, she wants a new job desperately. But Mr. Wolf is not supposed to know that. So she's been trying to find a new job, but she's not been having any luck, despite the fact that her resume should be pretty stellar. Mr. Wolf then makes her deal that if she will be his fiance for 30 days so he can land a business deal that he's trying to seal the deal on, then he will let her out of the contract. And of course, we all know what's about to happen, but it is delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
Mr. Wolf needs to get out some pent-up anger and energy.
Okay. All right. So my next book that I have, okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. So it's Return to Monte Carlo by Kate C. Wells. But so it is like
Hold
200.
Did I say the name of the book?
I thought you did. Did you? Say it again.
I just had this blank where I'm like, I know I kept talking about Whitney G, but I don't know if I actually said the name of the book. Oh well, it will be up on the screen.
Yeah, they can see it. Oopsie. We're a lot of fun here.
That would be 30-Day Boyfriend.
Okay. Oh yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
I did? Okay, good. I just so sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay. So I grabbed Casey Wells. This book, okay, I'm just gonna show you. It's 214 pages, but see how it's smaller than the average 6x9? If it was a 6x9, it would be under 200 pages. So we are going with this book because it reads very quickly and it is. I think you got to
after you made me do that whole thing.
I know, but it's true. I consider it
a novella. Is this the 90s historical romance?
No.
Oh.
That was 80s historical romance, by the way.
80s, sorry.
Yeah. So this is the one with the in-laws, the horrible in-laws. So this is about Diane and Marco. Oh, this is the historical one. Yeah, it takes place in the 80s. I was thinking that was something else. So yes, you're right, Mandy. This is the 80s historical book. It's labeled as historical in some places, and we just die because that's, whatever. Okay, so this is about Diane and Marco. So Diane and Marco had a whirlwind relationship. They got married. She is just a poor girl from the South, and he is some big, rich businessman from Monte Carlo. His family has a lot of money. He comes from a lot of money. And immediately once they were married, he takes her back to Monte Carlo to meet his family. And that's where she's living, is in this compound with his family, this big fancy place in Monte Carlo. Her in-laws are horrendous. Like the whole family, just horrendous. And it's their 1-year anniversary, and he doesn't show up on time for the dinner that she's made. And she gets very emotional and very upset and ends up breaking something in the house, ends up speaking her mind because she thinks he's having an affair. And there's just a lot of things happening at this point. And so she packs her bags and she leaves. She goes. And then we fast forward a couple of months later, she's living her life. She's brought something extra back from Monte Carlo, when her husband shows up and is like, no, you're coming home, but let me change it. Like the grovel is real in this one. So I really loved it. It was, I listened to it. It was a very quick listen, but it was so good. I really resonated with some stuff in here. So I really liked it. Okay.
So my next one is also by a well-known novella author, Cassie Mint. So this is Stolen Summer. Again, very heavy on the plot. We have Poppy. Poppy's dad is the governor, and even though Poppy is 22, her dad is still like ruling her life. And she is not doing what he wants her to do, so he decides to have her committed to a very fancy inpatient place for treatment, hoping to get her to cooperate and do and behave how he wishes. Wit is the doctor there, and he sees right through what's going on and is very committed to helping Poppy. So that's all I'm going to tell you, but it's a very good read. Liked it a lot.
Okay. This next one you and I both liked a lot, and it actually started a little bit of an obsession for this author in the books that she writes.
Ooh, it must be Subjankin?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sweet. She
Club
read some great ones.
Princess?
Yes, it is The Club Princess by B. Subjekin. So this one was our very first foray for both Mandy and I into B's writing. So this is about Michaela. She is the daughter to the president of a motorcycle club, and her brother is also in the motorcycle club. And it is her 18th birthday, and dad and brother have forgotten her birthday. And so the only thing that she wants is to become a club hoe. And so, you know, her brother and her dad are very much against that, and not for the reasons that you think. It's because they both want her. And so, you know, that's how this story takes off. They they make her their own. There's a lot of breeding in this book. It is a smutty good time. There's also a little bit of plot, but not much. But you know, it's a smutty good time. So, you know, go read it.
It was really good.
It was actually really good. I wanted more. Like, I want more in that world. I want longer books.
Mm-hmm.
I even
Yeah.
told her that. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. My next one is called Mind to Worship by Cameron Clare. This is about Liam Bishop, and he is in the military, and he is serving with his army best buddy when they are ambushed and attacked, and Liam's best friend ends up getting killed, and Liam is severely hurt. And so he comes back to the States to recover. Previously, him and his best friend had planned a vacation for Christmas to go like to like a tropical place, beaches, all that fun stuff with his best friend's sister, because him and the sister were like the only family they had left. So Bishop is back in the States. He's trying to recover, but he's really struggling. So he goes kind of down a drinking, binging, you know, making some bad choices. And he decides it's Christmas time. He needs to clean up his act, and he needs to actually go and see his buddy's sister and try and, you know, just connect with her, that sort of thing. So he goes, and she lives in a high-rise apartment complex. So he's in the elevator. There's somebody else in there, a woman he's pretty attracted to, who turns out to be Charity, the best friend's sister. And the lights, the lights, not the lights, sorry, I keep saying the lights. The elevator gets stuck, and this causes him to have some serious PTSD, which Charity helps him work through. And from there, we definitely get like that insta love that you often have in novellas, but I was here for it. Really enjoyed this one.
Okay. I don't think anybody's surprised that about my next author, and I do want to say this author also has a crap ton of novellas that happened throughout her most famous series that she has.
It must be Ruby Dixon.
You think? But this is not a Nice Planet Barbarian. But if you want to, like, I know, are you shocked? Nice Planet Barbarians have novellas all throughout that are worth reading. I do it this time of year. When I'm wrapping presents all the time. So, but this is a fantasy. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it is Beauty and Autumn. So this is only like, I think it was like 70 pages, and it's good. So this is about Willow. In her village, every year there is a bride chosen to be given to this mysterious beast that's out in the forest, and that person never comes back. Nobody knows what happens to that person, but it happens every year. There's this festival, a harvest festival, and then a bride is chosen and sent off to go be with the beast. And this year, Willow is chosen as the sacrifice. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all it is. It's not very long. I don't know how much of a sacrifice it really was, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. My next novella is called The Thanksgiving Hookup. But I want to preface this with the Thanksgiving is like a mild part of the plot. I feel like this could be enjoyed any time of the year. So we have The Thanksgiving Hookup by Jay Sterling. This is Sky. Sky ironically works as an airline attendant. And when she gets her job, she is warned by all of the other attendants, stay away from the pilots, don't sleep with them. They sleep around. They're, just stay away from them. And she's specifically warned away of the pilot, River. Well, lo and behold, it is Thanksgiving and the plane cannot take off. So all the airline, the pilot, the attendants, they all end up stuck at the airport. So they end up at a hotel. And Sky and River end up with connecting rooms. And they're kind of forced to spend their Thanksgiving together with everyone else. And some stuff goes down, which leads Sky to think that maybe River isn't the bad guy that he's been made out to be, but she's still very weary of him. Really, really enjoyed this one.
Okay. Before I start talking about my last book, I just need to get your opinion and talk about something that's on the cover of my last book.
Interesting.
Okay. So this is Brutal Serpent by Kate Raven. What's with all the authors and the snakes on the covers?
I know. I don't really care for snakes myself, and I know they really bother you.
They do. I have a huge fear of snakes. Spiders I can handle, snakes no, and I'm not the only one. And
quick question.
Yeah.
Snake on the cover or cartoon cover? Which one?
Snake on the cover.
Then it's not that big of a deal. Let's go.
It is. It really is. I can't like Cora Riley's thing. She's got a new book coming out, and so I just gotta put that. So guys, let us know what you think about snakes on the cover.
You literally called me to complain about how often that book was showing up in your newsfeed.
Yeah.
And it was tripping you out.
It was. So now that we've got the snake discussion out of the way, this one doesn't bother me as much because the snake's not like coming at you, but guy, I can't. Snakes are just a thing for me, and I cannot be the only one. So, okay. It's one thing you probably won't ever see on my special editions. Just FYI. Okay, so Brutal Serpent by Kate Raven. Let's talk about that. So this is a historical. Hey, I have two historicals on this list, Mandy. The 1980 and the legit historical. So this is a historical. This takes place back in the Bridgerton era, Regency era. That's what my brain just said, Bridgerton era. But this is about Catherine and the Viscount St. Erth. So Catherine, I keep kicking my camera. Catherine's family is destitute. Like they're keeping up the ruse that they have all this money, but they don't. And it's the time of the year where girls are out seeking those husbands. They're on the husband hunt. And her parents are trying to marry her off to the first wealthy guy that they can find because they're destitute. Like they've lost everything. And that's where Viscount St. Erth comes in. He has a vendetta against her father, and so he arranges it to where he is the one who gets her in marriage, and he's only marrying her because he wants an heir, and he's not very nice to her. He is very much a bully to her. He's very cruel to her, but all of this is to hurt her father, because if he can get an heir, then he gets control of her father's land and titles, and then he gets his revenge because her dad did something to him when he was a little boy. So, there you go. Okay.
My last one is probably one of my favorite novellas. I absolutely love it. It's called Evidence of the Affair by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
Okay.
So this you can also listen to on Audible. I believe it's still there. And this is about Carrie. Carrie so this is all done like through letters. So Carrie writes David a letter saying, and it takes place in the 70s. That's why we're letter writing. So Carrie writes David a letter saying that she found a letter from his wife to her husband that suggests strongly that the two of them were having an affair. And so she and David continue to write each other back and forth over a long time about this affair until they decide that they are going to meet up. I'm not going to say anything else. I absolutely loved it. I could not put it down, could not put it down. And when it was over, I was like, I need more. Oh, it is definitely like a favorite novella.
I muted myself, didn't realize that. I wanted to know what happened next. I was the same. I was like, I need more of this. Where's the rest? So,
But I think that's part of what made it so good.
Yeah, is the not knowing. Yeah. So, all right, guys. So there are 10 novellas for you to round out your year with. So yeah, check them out.
Okay. Make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us, and also on Wednesdays.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Just change that up.
Well, yeah, some days we might not have Wednesdays out, but for now, we've got some Wednesdays. So, all right. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.